Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshva Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, word to word synonyms, translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaurachandra Premanande, Hari Hari Bo, Hare Krishna. So, please, if you can start your realizations, thank you very much. We're discussing Bhagavad Gita chapter 11, verse 20. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I have a short realization today on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, verse 20. I'll try to give my realization after singing the verse. Dvaya prithviyoridam hi vyaptam tvekena deshascha sarvaha Drashtva bhutam rupam tavedam lokatrayam pravyatet tam mahatman Vaya prithviyoridam antaramahi vyaptam tvayakena deshascha sarva Drashtvaadbhutam रूपमुग्रं तवेदं लोकत्रयं प्रव्यथितं महात्मन्. Word for translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Were you in outer space, a prithvya you of the earth, idam this, antaram in between, he certainly, vyaptam pervaded, tvaya by you, ekena by one, dishaha directions, cha and sarvaha all, drashtva by seeing, adbhutam wonderful, rupam form, ugram terrible, tava your, idam this, loka planetary system, trayam three, pravyatitam perturbed, Mahatman, O Great One. Although you are one, you are spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O Great One, as I behold this terrible form, I see that all the planetary systems are perplexed. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dvaya aprit yo, the space between heaven and earth, and Lokatrayam, three worlds, are significant words in this verse because it appears that not only Arjun saw this universal form of the Lord, but others in other planetary systems also saw it. The vision was not a dream. All who were spiritually awake with the divine vision saw it. So, in this verse, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning This point has come before in the verses as well, that not only Arjun was a witness to the universal form, but others were witness to it as well. And Srila Prabhupada explains in the previous verses the reason why, apart from Arjun, there were others also who witnessed this universal form. And the reason Srila Prabhupada says is because there are, in the future, this is to establish that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is also to defang the theory of the cheaters, the so-called pseudo theorists who say that, the people who say that they are God. And Srila Prabhupada says, then show this form. Can you actually do what Krishna has done? So in this, there's a very nice explanation of how the visualization was of Krishna's form. So although you are one, you are spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. So all pervading everywhere. And this point has been coming again and again to my mind also, that Krishna, as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, is establishing certain principles, certain guidelines as to how we can recognize the symptoms of whether a person is a Supreme Personality of Godhead or not. So we know there are 6 opulences. And Bhagavad Gita chapter 10 verse 1, we are given the 6 opulences, how we can describe, whether a person is a Supreme Personality of Godhead or not. And ordinary people may have one of the 6 opulences in abundance, but not all 6 together. So that is one praman, or how you establish. And when Srila Prabhupada says that my books are going to be law books, this verse reminded me of that, because here again you're getting the rules and how the measurements and how you can see, how you can differentiate. It's giving you the ability to not be cheated in this world full of cheaters. So I think it's a very powerful preaching verse as well. As always, WECAN Hare Krishna is looking for how they can be able to present the scriptures to the people that, the normal people, the masses. So that is one thing that I think is very important. And also in the translation it is said that this vision was not in the purport, sorry, it is said that the vision was not a dream. So there may be always in the future, when the reference is given that Arjun saw the universal form of Lord Krishna, establishing that cannot be done by just any ordinary soul, and establishing that he's a Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then that can be questioned in the future. Oh, maybe you're just only you saw it, or maybe you were just dreaming, or maybe it's just a thought that came to your mind, something like that. So that theory will be defunct, because there were others who were witness to that as well. So when Krishna does anything, it's always perfect. And I felt also here that, as a outside of your spiritual aspect, I felt we always can learn from intelligent people, and Krishna is the most intelligent, and how he would act to establish something it's very, I felt that it is a very intelligent way of doing it, and it's something we can learn from as well. And apart from that, I just feel that again the underlying fact, as we learned in the previous verse, that sometimes our realizations, feel, may be repetitive as well, because this is a very long chapter, and it's emphasizing the different aspects in which the universal form was perceived by Arjuna. So in that aspect, it also helps to re-establish the fact. So sometimes repetition also helps to re-establish something in your mind, and so this verse also helps me to do that. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much, Purnapagya Devidasi, for your nice realization. So, this is a very instructive verse for us, because here you would have missed some important points if not for the Acharya speaking. Dvava prithviyor idam antaram hi. Dvava prithviyor idam antaram hi. Vyaptam tvayikva tvayikena dishascha sarvaha. Društvad bhutam rupamugram tavedam lokatrayam pravyathitam mahatman. So, actually, translation, although you are one, you are spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O great one, as I behold this terrible form, I see that all the planetary systems are perplexed. So we would have thought, okay, we're still very impersonalist in our thinking, and we would have understood it as, okay, yes, seeing this terrible form, the wonderful form of Krishna, all the three worlds have become perplexed. Now we forget that there are living beings in these three worlds. And there is another Prabhupada mentions that Dvav in the purport, Dvav Apruthiv Yoho. So Dvav Apruthivi Yoho. So the space between heaven and earth, Prithvi means earth. And Lokatrayam, the three worlds, are significant words in this verse because it appears that not only Arjuna saw this universal form of the Lord, but others in other planetary systems also saw it. The vision was not a dream. All who were spiritually awake with the divine vision saw it. So here, the fact that Krishna's form, Krishna's form perplexed the three worlds, planetary systems, is dug deeper in the subject by Srila Prabhupada, saying that it was witnessed by other living beings also, not just Arjuna. Now, in the purport, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in one of the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna showed his universal form not once, but more than once. It was twice. Some of the authorities say that he also showed a universal form in the Dhritarashtra's court as well. But everybody could not see. Only few devotees present in the court could see. Because they were devotees. Others, their eyes were completely, they could not open their eyes. Similarly, here it is mentioned that Krishna's universal form is not for everyone to see, and there were devotees and other planets also seeing it. Now, it may sound very fantastic to hear, oh, other planets also people have seen it. But we have to dig a little deeper. Are we seeing it? Is a question that we should ask. Because every verse we have to relate to our own self, our own bhakti, our own spiritual, as Prabhupada says, spiritually awake. Are we spiritually awake? Because we are discussing and studying and learning from chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita, which is universal form. Now, this universal form Krishna showed, which Arjuna saw, which we are hearing from Sanjaya, describing it to his master, Dhritarashtra, which was in turn then narrated by Srila Vyasadeva, and the whole Mahabharata was written by Lord Ganesha. So just see the process here. And still we worship the Bhagavad Gita as spoken by Krishna. Although Bhagavad Gita is both Shruti and Smriti. Shruti means one who's heard, Smriti means one remembered. Now, if you go to see in the material world, if you say that, okay, somebody saw something which he narrated to somebody else, who in turn wrote it down, and this is what we are seeing. So somebody saw something is one, he narrated it to somebody, it's written down by somebody else. So you've got so many living beings involved, and there's a chance of missing out some of the important elements of what originally the person saw. But spiritually awakened people, there are two things with them. First thing is they are very honest, and second thing is this, that they are good communicators. Especially they communicate in finer details of what has been spoken and seen because it pertains to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And for the next, Srila Vyasadeva wrote this for the future generations to come. So he also has to write perfectly what has been spoken, what has been heard, and what has been seen. Hearing, speaking, and seeing. There should be complete synchronization of it. How intelligent these people would have been, personalities would have been. That is the reason why we get the chance of seeing it. So not only the tip and system includes us also. And we can also see Krishna in his universal form like this. That is the reason why Bhagavad Gita is mentioned as the sound representation of Krishna. It represents Krishna in sound. So our ears should be so eager to hear from our tongue what has been described. So again, what Arjuna saw was witnessed by Sanjaya. He spoke to Dhritarashtra perfectly what Arjuna saw. He would communicate perfectly. And the same thing was then written by Vyasadeva. So seeing, speaking, which is heard, and in Smriti he wrote down this by Vyasadeva. And Vyasadeva also narrated, but Lord Ganesha wrote down. So just see the process here. Everywhere there is seeing, hearing, and speaking. Seeing, speaking, hearing. So technically speaking, Vyasadeva also saw universal form of Krishna. Is it not so? If the answer is yes, then yes, Vyasadeva also saw, that's why he could narrate it. He could write down. Then it is up to us to also see Krishna's universal form in these narrations. This is a significant part which will make us very sincere in our bhakti. Otherwise, these are simply the narrations. Krishna showed a universal form, Arjuna asked for a universal form, Krishna gave him the eyes, he showed a universal form to Arjuna. Nothing to do with me. And Arjuna became perplexed, and Krishna pacified him and showed his universal form from 4 hands, then to 2 hands again. Finished. Chapter 11 is over. Let's move to the next chapter. So I remember when we were in Rajkot, so many years ago, and Maharaj were giving this class. It's in the evening. It was a cold weather at the time, November, December. And Maharaj was saying this, same point which I just repeated now, that we are not related to these points. Because Krishna showed, Arjuna became perplexed. To pacify Arjuna, now Krishna gave divine eyes. Then Arjuna became perplexed. Then to pacify Arjuna, Krishna showed his 4 forms and then 2 forms. It is over. We are not related to this. This is our unintelligent studying of the scriptures. We may be very, very intelligent and very proud of our intelligence. But in spiritual, we should be spiritually intelligent. That is, as Prabhupada says, that materially you may be clever, but spiritually you must be more clever. Material intelligence does not mean you're spiritually intelligent. This is the meaning behind it. Otherwise, we will memorize a verse also, but it is not connected to us. This is how we are connected to Bhagavad Gita in the universal form, and any sincere seeker, spiritual seeker, who is very sincerely trying to follow and study the Bhagavad Gita, we will be able to see Krishna in the universal form, in the form of Vani. That is why hearing is most important. Seeing may not be as important, because we are not qualified to see Krishna. And Krishna showed the eyes only to Arjuna, which Vyasadeva showed and gave the eyes to Sanjaya to witness. And because we are not qualified, very mercifully it is written down, documented for us to read and open our eyes. So with this is my realization for our personal benefit. Thank you very much. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra Premanande Hari Hari Bol, Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. With this, we complete our course today, our discussion.